During the next half hour, Catholic schools reopen for in-person learning. We visit some of those schools. We talk with Cardinal Cupich about the importance of getting your flu shot. We'll take you to the ordination of new priests for the Archdiocese, the ordination of Transitional Deacons. We'll introduce you to Sister Stephanie and find out why she ran a 26-mile marathon on a treadmill. Welcome to the October 2020 edition of Sanctuary. Hello, I'm Father Greg Sakowicz, Rector of Holy Name Cathedral. Thanks for joining me for Sanctuary, the video news magazine of the Archdiocese of Chicago. We begin today's program with the reopening of Catholic schools. With 70,000 students in almost 200 schools, the Archdiocese of Chicago school system is the second largest in the state. Students recently headed back to the classroom for an in-person learning. They took new precautions that included wearing masks, daily temperature checks, and socially distanced classrooms. Cardinal Blase discussed the reopening of schools with Catholic Chicago TV host Todd Williamson.
Cardinal, you saw the reopening in person. How do you think it went?
Well, in fact, I visited 3 schools this past week and hope to see what's happening at other schools as the weeks unfold. I greeted students as they came forward. There was a real sense of cheerfulness about them, and also their parents happy to have them back in class. People are working hard to keep everyone safe, and we're going to do our best to make sure that young people are educated but also kept safe at the same time.
I know that was terribly important in the school's office planning for reopening. Just a lot of effort went into that, the importance of keeping students and teachers safe.
Well, it really was our COVID task force, too, that advised us. We used some wonderful experts in the medical field and also in public health to make sure that we crafted a procedure and policy that would work for everyone. And so we have a fine team in that COVID task force that helped us launch all of this.
There's a number of good people there, as you say. And it's most important for parents to know and to feel that their children will be well cared for.
That's right, and I talked to a number of parents as I was visiting the schools, taking temperatures of young people as they were coming in, and expressed real gratitude that the Archdiocese moved forward in having open school for their children.
Yeah. Cardinal, just what do you hear about other dioceses across the nation in terms of reopening for in-person learning? We're not the only ones doing it.
No, I think there's an uneven pattern, even in our state. But, I think each diocese has to look at what their resources are, but also what the positivity rates are. Some areas, some states, the positivity rates are very, very high and in a dangerous way. Ours, thank God, are relatively low, under 4%, and that is due, I think, to all of our public health officials and elected leaders pulling together to keep us safe.
Many of our schools have been home to the same families for generations. Vince Girasoli and Brian Brock, our television team, visited St. Walter's School on the southwest side, where 3 of the teachers are former students.
Yes, we can!
Well, my hopes for this school year are in tune with my hopes every year that we provide a healthy, safe environment for young people to grow and mature. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Father, at the beginning of this beautiful day, once again you have told us in so many ways through our parents, our teachers, and those who care for us, how precious and good we are. And this year, particularly with the coronavirus, my hope is that we will also be able to teach our young people about the interdependence that we have as a human family, and that we do need to care for each other. The coronavirus affects everyone, and it's an opportunity for us to stop and think about how all of our lives are so interwoven with each other, and that we have responsibility for caring each other.
I was so excited to come back to the building, to come back to meet my students in person.
When I actually went to school here, I started in 2nd grade. I found close friends that are still in my life today from when I met when I was 7 that now I still have at 22 as a college graduate.
Being the last of 4 children, I couldn't wait to get to St. Walter's School after watching my siblings walk there every day.
It definitely helped me to form a strong Catholic faith.
Making faith a very important part of your life and school a very important part of your life.
That it gave me the love of Christ. It gave me the love of learning. It showed me that it's okay to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes.
I just kind of tell them that we're all superheroes at the end of the day. We've made it through. We're all doing the same exact thing together.
Like, to me, St. Walter's home. Obviously, I'm still here.
Thanks to all the teachers, parents, and staff at St. Walter's School for their hospitality. It's the beginning of every school year that the Black Catholic Deacons of Chicago host their sunrise prayer service for nonviolence and peace. Due to COVID-19, this year's service was drive-in style and moved from the lakefront to the parking lot of St. Catherine Drexel Parish. Photojournalist Javier Garcia has the highlights.
We got some important business going on 90th and Stony Island. Somebody say amen. We're here at St. Catherine Drexel, praising God early in the morning at our 10th year of praying to end the violence. Peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Since we began this ministry, 5,330 people have been shot and killed. When I lost my direction, you would come back from the way you were the fire night. A lot of people may have lost their faith. We are here today to tell you that the deacons of the Archdiocese of Chicago are no ways tired.
Deacon Leroy and the others in the ministry have been helping Chicagoans move forward peacefully for a decade, a truly courageous effort. Summer is behind us and flu season is here. We hear it often: get a flu shot to help avoid the symptoms, aches, and pains of influenza. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic is adding extra importance to getting a flu vaccine. Cardinal Cupich is echoing the call, encouraging all of us to take a step that could save lives.
You know, I get a flu shot every year. I think it's a smart move to avoid or at least minimize the aches, the fevers, coughs, and fatigue associated with influenza. And for someone my age, I know that the flu can also be very life-threatening. But this year, during the COVID-19 pandemic, public health experts say that vaccination against flu is even more important. Both COVID-19 and influenza can have similar symptoms. We spoke with Dr. Rachel Rubin from the Cook County Department of Public Health for some perspective.
If you can imagine getting both at the same time, having an infection with COVID-19 along with having influenza, that the combination could be catastrophic, especially for those individuals that are most susceptible to getting complications from either of those illnesses.
Flu vaccination does more than protect your health. It can also guard against overwhelming hospitals and doctors' offices and even laboratories that test for both illnesses. That's why I'm encouraging everyone to take time out for a flu vaccination this year and to help your family members, adults and children, do the same.
Flu vaccine is provided at many local health departments and pharmacies across Illinois. To find out which flu vaccine is right for you, log into vaccinefinder.org. Here at the Archdiocese of Chicago, we are celebrating Pope Francis's appointment of 3 new auxiliary bishops. Parishioners will meet them shortly as they travel the Archdiocese. They are bishops-elect Kevin Birmingham, Jeffrey Grob, and Robert Lombardo. We spoke to them shortly after they learned the news.
Right now, I'm actually numb, and I have been in shock since I got the phone call with the news that I was appointed by the Pope.
People continue to ask, in a sense of, what were your first thoughts? And I always say, well, do you want the short list or the long list?
So first I felt some numbness. I wasn't exactly sure all that was being asked for me.
I just went mute. I was sort of speechless. And being Italian, I'm not speechless very often. So
Certainly it's something that no one ever expects when you're ordained to the priesthood. In a sense, it's not like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a bishop.
I've always wanted to be a pastor. Being able just to be present to the people and being in their homes and being with them at the special moments, I see that continuing in this ministry.
To help guide people in sacred moments and transitional moments and pivotal moments in their lives.
I've always tried to be, as best I could, a voice for the people on the margins, those that are poor, those that are to a large degree forgotten, for those that feel like they might be unloved or unlovable. And so I think that it'll be an opportunity to be a voice for those people.
I did tell my mom. She was very happy, and then she started crying. Those were tears of joy, she told me.
Let me offer my congratulations to our 3 new bishops-elect. Now that you have met them, we'd like to introduce you to the new priests of the Archdiocese. Cardinal Cupich recently ordained 8 men to the priesthood at St. John Brebeuf in Niles, and they shared their comments immediately following the ceremony.
Roger Patrick Gorman.
It feels incredible. I mean, there's a deep sense of peace, I think, entering into this new chapter of my life, answering the call to God, coming here to be ordained as a priest, and now offering blessings to my friends and family. It's incredible. I'm excited. So I'll be going to Lakeview, and so there's a big school there, so I'm excited to be working with the kids and young families. There's a big, vibrant ministry to young professionals there too, which I'm very excited about. And it's just a very gorgeous church, so I can't wait to go and celebrate Mass, celebrate the sacraments with all the people.
Looking forward to celebrate Mass, celebrate the sacrament with the people, especially, journeying with them, accompanying them, especially in this difficult time that we have. So that's what I'm really looking forward and I'm excited to do.
Ismael Garcia Sainz.
Feels great, being here for a lot of sacrifices from, saying yes to the Lord from 15 years old when I first started. So now it's the day that I was looking 11 years into formation. I hope we can all grow together, learn from each other, and keep walking in the ways of God.
The Lord Jesus Christ, whom the Father anointed with the Holy Spirit and power, guard and preserve you that you may sanctify the Christian people and offer sacrifice to God.
It's amazing. I really don't have words for it. It's just the most beautiful day of my life. The Lord has blessed me in ways that I didn't even know. He's read the deepest desires of my heart, and I'm in love.
Patrick Joseph Bergen.
This day has been so long in coming, and I'm so grateful to the Archdiocese of Chicago because my Archbishop was supposed to come here to ordain me, and then he couldn't, of course, because of COVID. So he wrote to Cardinal Cupich, and very kindly, Cardinal Cupich and Mundelein Seminary and everything really welcomed me in with the other 7 men. And it just goes to show you the church is universal, ultimately. Mungu wabariki watu wote wanaokaa jijini Chicago. Dio. That's God bless the people of Chicago.
There are no words, actually, to describe how I'm feeling because it was just incredible to be there, to be ordained. I'm definitely looking forward to celebrating the sacraments and so much more, and getting to know my new parish and getting to know the people.
You promise respect and obedience to me and my successors?
I do.
May God, who has begun the good work in you, bring it to fulfillment.
I'm so happy. This is something that I have been waiting for a long time and been preparing for. It was a great ceremony, a great number of people accompany us, a wonderful liturgy, and I'm so happy for this unworthy gift that the Lord is bestowing on us today.
The priest laying on the hands was so intense. A couple of the priests have told me, if it wasn't for COVID, we would have really laid your hands on, and I said, I don't know if I could have taken much more.
When the presbyterate, the whole line of my brother priests came to lay their hands on each and every one of us, that to me was the most touching. I was actually in tears.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
I think prostrating, just recognizing my littleness before God and also recognizing the gift He's given me.
When I heard St. Therese of Lisieux, she's always been a really big intercessor for me, a patroness in my vocation. So when I heard her name, my heart just kind of broke a little bit. So it was beautiful.
I would say when we prostrate, when we were in front of our Lord Jesus Christ, in a very symbolic but also a specific way, giving our lives to Him, and in front of the whole community. They are the ones who chose us in certain way. The Lord chose us first, but the community is also reinforcing that election. So it was great to be in prostrating, having the community behind us, and feeling the support, the prayers that they had for us.
Cardinal Cupich was also the main celebrant at the ordination of 14 men as transitional deacons. The installation of deacons took place in the Chapel of the Immaculate Conception, University of St. Mary of the Lake, Mundelein Seminary.
Brother Nathan Ford. Scott Darren Jakubowski.
Today we celebrated really one of the most joyful liturgies in the church, the ordination mass for the diaconate. Now, most of the men who are ordained today are what are known as transitional deacons. There was one gentleman who will be a permanent deacon. He's married. But for the transitional deacons, that's one step along the way towards ordination. So when a man enters into seminary, he receives a number of ministries from the time he first begins. So just before priesthood, a man would be ordained to the order of deacons, which traditionally in the church goes all the way back to St. Stephen in the Acts of the Apostles. A number of important ministries. They perform weddings and baptisms. They proclaim the gospel, and just in all sorts of ways are in service of the parish. When a man first comes into the seminary, and it varies, so there's no simple blueprint, but generally speaking, it's after his third year of studying theology, so after college. And then, generally speaking, the men would be ordained deacons either in the spring or early summer after their third year of studies. And then they would serve as a deacon in a parish for the following year. For the men we had today, you saw a good number of them representative of really all across the archdiocese, from the parishes they come from. And I think it bodes well for vocations, to be sure, because by the time a man has gotten to this point, he's done a lot of discerning. So it's not the case, of course, that every man who enters into seminary is ultimately ordained a priest. That is a process of discernment. They continue to rise up out of the parishes and our families. And my hope is that anyone who is here participating in this liturgy, and I know hundreds more, thousands more watching remotely, that would help perhaps inspire in their hearts the desire of developing a vocation maybe in their son, or some of the men watching may find that growing in their own heart.
Our prayers are with these transitional deacons to continue their journey to the priesthood. Now let's go from North Suburban Mundelein to the University of Illinois, Chicago, where you'll find a wonderful Catholic outreach to students. It's the St. John Paul II Newman Center. Let's check it out.
A way to understand the Newman Center is like a parish to the university community. So most secular universities, meaning non-Catholic universities, whether public or private, have some kind of Catholic campus ministry so that they can grow in their faith while they're in college. I think it's a really important time in people's lives. When they're in college, they're deciding, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to major in? What's going to be my career? Who am I going to marry? And those are big, deep questions, but in a way, they're surface compared to the deepest question is, who am I? Like, what's the point of being alive? What does it mean to be a human being? And those are questions that really only God can answer. So we're here to be that resource, to sort of be Christ on campus, so that people, when they're answering those big questions, when they come up in their hearts, there's a community that they can find sort of like-minded people that have the same kind of feeling that there's something more to life.
So Newman is a really special place. It's a place for evangelization. It's a place of love and hospitality here at UIC. So we provide a variety of different events throughout the year. We do social events to build community with the students, service opportunities locally and also internationally with different mission trips. We do Bible studies and other formational events like retreats, talks, things like that. But really it's just open to what the Holy Spirit is calling us to in terms of a variety of different events here at UIC.
I made an executive decision at the beginning of my sophomore year to say yes more to whatever God was throwing at me. So I was just kind of drawn here. I came here more for adoration, and I just fell in love with the community that was here. The people are so welcoming. The Focus missionaries are great at, connecting people. And Newman totally opened my eyes to how much I can love God and how much He can love me. No holds barred, So just being able to have that has really just changed my outlook on life and how I look at others.
The Newman Center is a very open place, right? Anyone's welcome, like either religious affiliation, it really doesn't matter, right? Like everyone's here, everyone's friendly, no one's gonna judge you whether you are affiliated religiously. As people of Christ, we're not here to judge you, we're here to help you, Having these wonderful opportunities like daily mass, adoration, and even these events too, like if you don't really know much about the faith and you weren't really taught in a more profound base, like these events, like we have Catholic 101, it's very helpful in like learning the basics in Christianity in the Catholic Church.
So one of the big initiatives here is this Core Coffee. The coffee shop that we are building would be a place where people could come that would never normally come to church, that maybe don't know who Jesus is or think they do and don't really understand why that matters. That this is a place where they feel comfortable, they can come in, grab a cup of coffee, they know how that works, even if they don't know how to go to Mass, but they also get a chance to meet those students that are on fire for Christ and want to share their faith.
So our goal is that we are able to speak to the heart of anyone that walks into these doors through a good conversation, through radical hospitality, that we can love them just as they are as they walk into this space, that we can hopefully answer any questions that they have, engage with really good, engaging conversation. No matter who the student is, whether they're Catholic or not, they know the Newman Center, they know of the Newman Center, they've been to the Newman Center, that when they hear the phrase Newman Center, they can say, oh, there's beauty and truth happening there. There are really cool events happening there. There's really cool people hanging out there that are not going to judge me, that are going to love me and accept me, and that we can grow together.
The Newman Center offers a podcast featuring Father Connor's weekly homilies. Just go to jp2newman.org. Earlier, we heard from Bishop-elect Bob Lombardo. He is one of the dedicated faithful in the mission of Our Lady of the Angels on the West Side. The staff there gives selflessly every day. For example, during the pandemic, the number of food baskets they provided has more than doubled. Working alongside him is Sister Stephanie Baliga. Sister Stephanie recently ran a 26-mile marathon in just over 3.5 hours. That's nothing unusual for Sister Stephanie, except this time she did it on a treadmill.
This is the actual pace of me running for the treadmill marathon. I'm going to run this exact pace for 3 hours and 30 minutes.
I started running when I was 9, and I ended up being really good. I won 19 conference championships in high school. Was recruited to run for University of Illinois. And then I got injured my sophomore year in track, which led me to, long story short, become a nun. And so this injury forced me to reevaluate my life and to really look at what was important in my life, realizing that professional running was not a realistic expectation for my future. I realized how much God was calling me to serve Him in His church. And then I came here, and then I started running the Chicago Marathon the year I got here, and it quickly turned into this very large fundraiser for the mission.
This is Prairie boxes right here. I found you. Never kidding.
The mission serves the area of West Humboldt Park, and we exist to be a material and spiritual outreach to the neighborhood. So right now during Corona, our main thing is this massively large food pantry. Normally we do a lot of other outreach to the neighborhood. We have a lot of prayer services for the neighborhood, hot meal programs for the neighborhood. Our neighborhood is very torn by violence and poverty, so we exist to try to bring the community to Jesus, be able to provide for their material needs as Jesus would, and then to help them grow closer to Jesus in every possible way. During coronavirus, our food pantry has tripled in size from about 225 families a week to about 700 families a week. We serve everybody who attends the pantry between 50 and 60 pounds of food, or sometimes more, when they come to the pantry, so it's food for a couple of weeks. And we've been very, very blessed to be able to receive so many donations during coronavirus to continue to feed all those people that amount of food. And so we're looking to continue to support that effort with this raising money and also to finish our renovation. We would have had 103 people running in the Bank of America Chicago Marathon to support Mission of Our Lady of the Angels if the Chicago Marathon had not gotten canceled. In April, I was trying to pump the team up, and I said, I'm so confident this race is going to happen that if it gets canceled, I'm going to run a marathon on a treadmill. So then, guess what? They canceled the race. So their sister Stephanie has promised to run a marathon on a treadmill. So I'm kind of stubborn. I'm not going to back down. So I decided to actually do it. So here I am. I'm running a marathon on a treadmill on August 23rd from 9:30 to 1 to raise money for Mission of Our Lady of the Angels. We'll be using the money to support our rapidly expanding food pantry as well as to finish our renovation project of our new outreach center to those on the west side. We're still a team, even though the marathon got canceled. We're still raising money. Tons of people on the team are still running a marathon. This is like hopefully a rallying point for the team to get ready for running a marathon in October. I'm going to be very blessed to be joined by lots of people on Zoom and on social media and things during the actual marathon. Everyone who's watching is welcome to join me. And then I will, yes, be praying, a lot of praying. There'll be a lot of praying going on here. I'm also running in solidarity with all those who have been sick and stuck at home, or in the senior citizens that we've been serving who a lot of them have not essentially left their houses since March. My goal is just to kind of like power through with Jesus. just keep going and don't stop. I mean, the nice thing about the treadmill is that you turn into the pace and then you're just like, well, I'm not turning it down, so I'm just gonna better keep going because now I'm gonna fall off the back. So, so that's how that's gonna go. It's gonna be great.
A Chicago nun attempting a world record, completing a whole marathon indoors on a treadmill. Check out Sister Stephanie Blase, a former Division I college runner at the University of Illinois. There she is running away inside Our Lady of the Angels Church on Chicago's west side, choosing the basement in honor of anyone stuck inside during the pandemic. That run taking just 3 hours and 33 minutes to complete 26.2 miles, raising almost $100,000 for the church's new outreach center. Congratulations to Sister Blase.
Our friends at the Mission of Our Lady of the Angels are always finding creative ways to help support the community. We encourage you to visit their website at missionola.com. And don't forget, you can see all the videos in this program and hundreds of local Catholic videos by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CatholicChicago. Thanks for watching Sanctuary. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz. Let's pray for each other. Stay safe. May the Lord bless you and hold you in the palm of his hand.